More common from like a black media. I nurses strike ya any omoko na enam so ma enipa wu na ewu impo enam so ama Ghana mochre panyini pa oda mochra no e man Ghana mu edi nsem ya ba betu dwase sa strike na e koso na enipa wu na ewu krompe enam so ema mochre wo Ghana hase no ni na ye ma no ensem we si ye nsem a meka sa ginsemu e wo strike ya ene ye Ghana nurses akọ eno na ye nuaba efia pokua vim lady de abufu pa bebo na adwene de ama ye health minister honorable Minta Akano say ye kase ubi was a kede position we say emano say health minister enka Minta Akando de enka sebi woni mu hwehwehwe kase ubi abon pa ewo health ministry ma enka ye honorable Minta Akano de enka o men ho kura because his speech bi awode ma ene afen so statement bi awode ma e strike we see ho a chese honorable Minta Akando abon pa sa de no krampo ebe hye eye nurses na bufu ama ahwa strike no mbe strende anase omo betwim ama nipa wu bewu no ebe bura adwene ntiase so wona mse we see so abusia wabobo na adwene pa yi e de akọ eye CJ prosecution a ekoso ewo eye chief justice getutuku no hu sansem no enso wabobo na adwene wo ho a ene chairman twibu asia ku ntumi so wache na adwene ewo no ho se chairman ntumi sebio wonye kromfo na afenso so no se on committee krama enkesi mu say eye MPP fo afa contract se mo kwakopa eye president John Dramani Mahama chew se asem no omlim na omomodin se obeja chairman twibu asia ku ntumi ensem na ebusia wo hwe nsem a afia pokua vim lady aka ede afa sansem we si nwa emotion impo waka de babisi eye Sam George so se Sam George obi a kakabensem ahantan ewoni mu pa so ma hwe ya ebenam so ama ene NDC bitmako opposition pa ebebro se ne MPP akọ opposition no wodi ne nsam ba wiye no ene waka dollar depreciation a NDC for sebi omode dwo mo ho na se omo na ama dollar depreciation no eba fom no o se ntesa nemum Donald Trump na aye amasa dollar depreciation no aba ene waka nsem ibram pese kama kwaji nchemu no besisi ye
aban fufura aba no President Mahama is on course. The issue and they bekan ho say ne nurses no issue no na no Monday me catch him say President
Thanks well DGH
the whip on the ministers because so far no there have been so good he odinile mu but for na what designating it to me na Ghana for no ye overwhelmingly ye to aba the man no so designating the amount the ministers no they can bring its government down. And I know President Mahama, the person with which I cannot buy way no, or person or any BCC was said about or the Ginny Ding or the Ginny Ding. So what's done from beginning, even before crowd or Babedi, Akonyami Aso and in the crown. The 120-day plan or the buy issues or the buying now shows that he wants to distinguish not buying way from the previous buy now from Samuel Sini or Obedi Nadiano. So far, President Mahama solid. But here, there's this issue. You ever meet that candle? You ever meet that candle? Your madam, minimum time or your director of communication, NDC Western Region. You go share NDC Congress. I say what Tamalini Adena. Very good person, excellent human relations. But as health minister, the meet that candle is on a slippery slope. He's on a slippery slope, and yet because it started with Tamale Teaching Hospital boss your Pamuni. When the real issue. Granted, some papa no wanye na adwuma yie. But consume na boy hina ye nim say adwuma bi emu no. Ye ma room for error. Of course, that room for error no must never ever be result in the death of another person. Any say mo obi ewu. Into where somebody has died a serious issue. But until so become no one say whether or not the death of the person was as a result of the negligence of or no Tamale Teaching Hospital administrator, and answer director, no, and answer other officers, or say the corporate governance, no. So we are penny, that's SMC, na young woman pona directly, or cause so problem, na a by virtue of someone now yet in charge, liability, no, here also someone away. It's your hobby and shed any problem, but how you handled it. And especially when issue, no, especially, it's about, say, ventilator. Of course, he doesn't produce the ventilator. He does not procure ventilators. And your Ministry of Health, Ghana Health Service, what about ventilators? It's if Obiu as a result of ventilator, where you come measure the chain of causation. Perhaps in Ghana will say no. But if we start teaching how to issue, no, I don't know. What is it? A minister say a year, some George. A data here, what it is a very excellent way because they say we are going to get more data for the value, the same value. So you are 10 Ghana cedis, I'll be more data. He's done a fantastic job. No one, some George, pressure on the man as no, he should not even start complaining. But when you I'm slippery slope, so I started with a year first, a black one. And a candle so and some job. They have to be spoken to. A woman say we are youthful. And we are me. I was one of the first people I catch because I must mention. The way I President Mahama for young people, young people no year Juma in their government. I praise them, say NPP for more young people be brave. Because if you, it's not like NPP for my young people for chance, but the magnitude, the numbers of young people are more position traditionally penny and then it's occupied by young person because share a kind of position. Under President Kufuor, President Kufuor, young penny phone handle ye now a young person. But more than yama about so be a young and not to say our knowledge but wisdom no a problem. Because I bet you say a Dr. Adukufo, who was minister under Ninian President Kufuor timer. This whole next issue you could have been handled in another way. And the mama money my excess sanity. Say youthful exuberance, what they go too far. You're a candle. Oh, say, I feel get young giddy yadio. Young fat giddy yadia, you were near me now, and you need a fataying. The way I hear a that candle handle next issue, no, it's not the best. It's not the best. You should have handled it well. Since I also call for retired nurses. Seriously, it's retired nurses now go for no. Or when you morning near my idea, Juma. Do they know telehealth? Do they know computers? Do they know say machines somebody here, Juma? Hey, this is even a dangerous precedent episode. And I offer retired nurses, doctors near the end bar. Mobile crash course as to say and saying new knowledge about because be our medical field, the mobile him say. Upgrade you more knowledge. Courses come because now only the chloroquine and the malaria and then you have chloroquine some malaria into mobile crash course. It's just dangerous. Now say in so doing now the in order to save the situation, say be from no be and now be an accident, medical accident BC and now issue be negligence case me ba. Would the liability be to who? Asudieno say obi Obiapa come wrong diagnosis because 1950 knowledge na nipa na dia ba na odi adwuma na any amasesa and the treatment na and the virus be ni emwa bacteria ni bi o develop resistance ni and the immunity to some medication formula cry the injection asesa can you know ye obi said because ye pam afi ye pam na o to be the glue skin ye the glue na tie into the amasesa into be more crash course one now more crash course na said the American say be see into one minister MSU for negligence and Ghana Health Service and a particular retired nurse no out in the buy. You must necessarily sit down and talk to them. But talking to them in your kakabensemo. So attitude, me say who they kobusa. You're a kind of respectfully. Busa who they are the reason. Because I'm not tell Penny and he has more political experience than you. Busa who near how the reason. When he was moved from communication ministry under President Rawlings transition to President Mahama first time no mobile. They didn't free communication, didn't call a labor. I don't know how they do say their problem. Because for the youngs human relations, the student politics need be respectfully. Here I can do. I'm not saying say youngs and don't even know. I know you're a fantastic person. Youngs and you will be. And I make so human relations there. Me have known you are you're solid, but something is missing somewhere. Now one yes I is missing one. You will fall into a trap because public sector workers they can make you your government ungovernable. This is not the time they get NDC MPP. I see a little bit of the politics going on in parliament between Dr. Ayu. Because Dr. Ayu, so to mind you, or your medical doctor. It is a next cost striker. It is Nini Anam. Dr. Ayu, the cost of parliament, speaker, it's part of the politics. But at the bottom of it, let's say, I think Dr. Ayuso wants the best. And they also know, say, like, gargantuan promises be NBC Muyama Profono. Realistically, ain't possible. And be honest, said, Minister Kate said, demands now nurses need make just say, they didn't even budget for it. You see, but opposition, imagine the opposition. Say MP before and Obi can't say I'm budgeting and you see, the way you govern in opposition, yes, I know governing in government. In fact, MP before is the same at the end of the fall a central of because time and then this is what 2016. MP before so yeah, you're paying mobile and your mind to car. I feel no more so COVID about Russia, Ukraine war, but the reality of the system is that and you be beyond obeying your back as there. You will win people over because see from time immemorial, many journalists, nurses, you know, they want the public sector workers, police, near the OPR salary and so no. Everything a president could for a single spine salary structure by single OPR salary sooner. And I said convert single spine salary structure. If I present a nails to create a winning power 209. I didn't see a conya, so I say President Gugwa trapping because on him say all the corner last minute and no signing for approval because no my negotiations are almost your montiati because budget to me accommodating and a President Gugwa signing here. It's President Mills by night to no one be inherited. Where will government find the money to pay this single spine salary structure? And the public sector workers almost salary so on that. But a conscious effort to prioritize them say. Who don't measure budget? And the busa, era kando kobusa who near to force and no. Say, then na one accommodating necessary because the negotiations are starting. So there is not government cannot claim so on him. Government cannot claim so on him. On him, said this is what was going on. At the moment, we do politics with everything. I mean, Minister Nasemo Kokaye, because you see, this is a very serious situation when the nurses are talking about it. To me, that's what they are saying. See, we are very disappointed in government. What government said, say there's no budgetary arrangement for us. This is a big blunder. This is a big blunder. Why did government not make any budgetary arrangement for nurses? Why? But any small group, public sector workers now, Aban is the number one, the biggest employer in Ghana. It is all by our say, my arrangement to be for nurses. How is that possible? How is it to say I didn't have to try buying answer? But you see, this is the trick. Where these errors numpo have happened, no, the role of the minister so kasa nyansa wom kasa sebio brusem predia some patronye to spite the minister in any way. I'm just using that advice for want of a better word in American because may respect you but as someone in chini womb, that's what I really mean. Because even the scriptures in Proverbs say a calm answer it will mean no matter how angry the person is, it will man a bathroom. And even Tabaya making budgetary allocation kasa ubenya catch the unianum and the permanent bathroom. It's here a candle. I think you should take cue from Tamale teaching hospital issue to say calm down, pipe it down, cry. Because public, especially health sector, almost some of them are so up. And we are ready season when you're doing July. Cholera, beba. Tonton malaria, beba. So, more extended strike here for a year. Now, not doctors, the only also so. And I'm watching workers, class almost so montiati. Now, a pharmacist, the only lab technicians, and the only also. Other health. Allied one wife for not to eka was so be sin. Etina Monday na make a move focus president mama. Ye here and son de fata. Ni amone na ye kwachi we is unnecessary. Moya ora ye we digidi ya kwachi ko we told you say pipe it down. Focus you 4 years if an hour. What did you think of what? It is subject to the prosecutorial processes and the court processes. It will spend energy. Me can't say mamu kochi obi face kani ade mamu kochi no. But that will not be the priority. Focus on where no? Because in Kamuya oral, obviously somebody didn't even focus on public sector health workers. Because more focus workers here so say you focus on oral na kamu budget. You see the exposure. Where when the oral when the fundamentals of the orals are not working now. Yeah, the public sector worker salary will expose you. This is it. Some focus on health workers, salary, Ghana workers in general. She said you focus on aura. Wontumi ko chase gold go airport. Even when the code has a qualified document. I just say a BOG Bank of Ghana for the call Bank of Ghana. They did I got you I charges no here not with some. I feel now what say you must make a case in court. And it does not lie even in your prosecution. It lies in what the court admits and what the court accepts and what the final ruling of the court is. And come on, to me, work as the more salary room. Fine. I think the president Mama must start cracking the whips. Look, guys, there were 4 years. All right, more aura, but focus on the necessary. Not only workers and casa. Until I say you are kind of Mr. Say no. Yeah, anything piano who posture who didn't mean I must change. Who posture didn't mean I must change because doctors, nurses, midwives, lab technicians, or more drill one drag it a day we are strike we are. Nipe be woo Ghana no. And yes, more. Now you see, there's a fundamental issue that you people are not even thinking about. Just say Ghana, immigration president Mama. Now I'm Ibrahim Traore, Burkina Faso baye. Now for jubilating. There's this fundamental issue sweeping around West Africa. Say and for peku, cool na attractive, cool na iti. The more Obama public workers issue are drag, the more it creates a perception, the more it gives the desire. So be may be don't do that. President Mama doesn't deserve that. We have come too far. We have come too far. Change your attitude, change your demeanor. Change you did mean because I make from normality a way no as much as for radicalism no the radicalism must be applied in context. You must look at the totality of the circumstances. Now say oh yeah we are my party full soldiers next is midwives and doctors so when you party full soldiers so almost strike here a party full soldiers. It's up to you to prioritize who do you want to please. Do you want to please the system? Do you want to please the workers? Do you want to please the majority of people? And a party full soldiers, so you're there's a way that you communicate with them at a certain level. But the general population, the critical mass of the workers who hold you, I want to say there's a way that you deal with them. And you're not also careful. It's my number way,
over the current impasse leading to the strike and the suffering patients enduring, the ministry states emphatically that government appreciates the invaluable contributions of Ghanaian nurses and midwives to the development of the health sector. Government remains committed to the needed engagement that will lead to the approval and implementation of the new conditions of service for nurses and midwives.
I think government is committed to negotiation. Government is committed to engagement. What do you do something different? These public sector workers, essential services. What do you want? Now, what the minister is doing. Kudos. You have no option but to listen.
Accordingly, government has directed the Minister of Finance and the Fair Wages and Salary Commission to, as a matter of urgency, lead the development of a roadmap to ensure a smooth implementation of the process. We engage the leadership of all Nurses and Midwives Association within the health sector on 30th May 2025 to address their challenges and discuss the subsequent roadmap leading to the implementation of the new conditions of service. Fortunately, the other associations supported my intervention, with the exception of the GRNMA, which declined and proceeded to declare the strike on the 2nd of June 2025, despite the NLC caution.
We're crying. Say, negotiating. I'm with the exception of Ghana Registered Nurses Association. Even National Labour Commission crowd declare strike. Never say a kind of because if they say they have nothing to lose, they can strike. You can't sack the nurses. Look at the number of nurses here in Ghana. You can't sack all of them. Oh, retired nurses and doctors are in the Ghana. I think the same number as the nurses or more payroll says here. You cannot sack them. It's in you, and this is what I'm saying, the minister and to the your communication, your interaction with them. Oh, even go back to those issues. So we try to resolve it, I hear you, but we are going back to the drawing board. We are committed to dealing with the issues. But to say all these open science your mobile nothing on bad true mom cut on them and slow down one. No more strike here, manako busumia. Me say honorable nipa ebeguno, you cannot handle it. So don't start a war that you cannot finish. Do not start a war. I want to mean finish it. When you can say no one no waka. But first say some of these things you have to go behind closed doors. When I'm sumasi and I don't now registered nurses and midwives penny way fee. There's some diplomatic way, unconventional ways of dealing with the issue, not just this one. Your patrol. Why? Your patrol because anything else listen
to any fault. It is their right. They are seeking their right. I would want to know any of you who think this just is not justified in Appendix A of their CBA. Is it the issue of rural incentive allowance that was agreed that is meant for nurses and midwives in the rural areas so that we can have nurses and midwives in the rural area? Which of them would you say is not legitimate? Is it the issue of full allowances, which has been historical since 60s for these people? Is it the issue of uniform allowance, which has been there since the 1960s? It couldn't have been changed in any republic, and it cannot be changed under a previous government. It cannot be changed now. We are here to plead with the nurses to understand that even if governments see the need to engage them, they should go with the good faith with Ghanaians at heart, because getting all the money without the lives that we have lost brings no joy to anyone.
I like what Dr. Ayu Kano. I like what he's saying. Say all 2 million nurses for say they should not be motivated by Jessica Kwan, because and this is the kind of cooperation. That's why I didn't like the initial politics. No, into Dr. Ayu I had here, even though I'm betting me extreme politics with it, but at the bottom line of it, all my medical doctor and told him minority for the idea of doctors. So when you name say we are dealing with life, so when you don't grow nurses for her. And the role of nurses, is so crucial to the survival of our constituency for. And the mama cooling nurses, now for some score political points against NDC, can't hear NDC. Now NDC there, say nothing. So it will go over everybody. It go over everybody. It go over everybody. So I like the poster now. If I say, Doctor, are you a free afano? Anyhow, he's handling the issues and the nurses. Homogeneous and the nurses need him extremely justified. But for the sake of nipa that's a new life, more must can't go and the issue. But almost managing the that's why I didn't like and the politics never cost on the floor of parliament, affect the petty speaker no more. But those ones in there. What you have on but inside parliament, they're part of those just for checking reasons, so really no, it doesn't need anything. Yeah. I hope say a bit me resolve this issue, because I mean at the end of the day, the Ghana for and I hear on my own cost one in say any problem.
So as minority, we are mindful of the fact that we are not stoking it up and asking them to prolong the strike. We are only asking them to be merciful as far as the tables are concerned, that when they go to sit, they must be merciful to see the need to be reasonable. Reasonability means you appeal to their conscience and say, if you are asking for 8 things, we cannot. You know what? In the budget, we'll do 3. Maybe the next budget we'll do 2. Let government change their posturing towards these people and let them not use the law and let them not frighten them.
When you let government just change its posture. Change your posture. At the end of the day, you will lose. You will lose. They have nothing to lose. At the end of the day, they have nothing to lose. So, almost strike here. And when I say the salary, but they have nothing to do except that almost be area, almost hospital, and they will face the same predicament now. But we must deal with the issues properly. Look, at the end of the day, oh my Ghana, and then here. And we are all doing this so that you may save you, oh my Ghana. You know, the point I was raising about say a year, now okay, some George day, and then data prices or more reduce say. At the end of the day, no, that's a positive thing. What I said, that's a very positive thing. Say, oh, you reduce the data prices because they'll be happen or no. But there may be no be concerned about some George. Response I would demand on social media. I don't make I say ministers need be under pressure, mama. Oh, check John Dubelo Abrante with Yana. I just love John Dubelo how there's a Abrante excellent job. Excellent job. Now John Dubelo here. So if you are so overly fixated on say social media, any idea now, who make a mistake? If you're overly fixated on social media and social media fans, I'll be any idea. Because now no confrontation as I'm doing, taking tree, boy, sitting oh, I'm busy responding to important people. There's some unimportant people here to Obama. So be to Obama, why you don't go there to discuss EFS, the way important, the only important. Obiabo to be on the Bema Obia, Obiabo to be on the Bema Obia, what changed? I just hope say some George near my best sign. I know say or not so. I mean, I deliver data again. And now we are getting more data for the same amount of money that we used to use. But for me, I think that's a positive thing. There was a bonabaso that at least what they will deliver. But I mean, Obias we are the boy. You don't expect the minister to be an angel. But see, some George they were he should even know so a target. He should know so a target. Got a tear. But it takes years no who we have to wait. Then at a tia or no as the who's no. So this all year we have high trainer and go no some George miniature say Kruma and Kobekoha. You see, and that is why I have a pressure because of the honor the other people. See, you may go MPP for and also talk about MPP national executive because I hear say almost so year changes like will be to say here Kokofu wants to contest as general secretary or general secretary. And I think that people like that more chance. Those issues. But a quick one again on nurses near the end say, look, the nurses are demanding, say, where they will make sure say they will get their pound of flesh. And say government decision to appeal to retired nurses not to come no and for a brief period, but I don't think that's the best decision. Because and then knowledge, 10 years, 20 years there. And Osikana will spend the more crash course. I'm my updated so and then we say yes, son, malaria saying yes, son. Since you could have used it to even cool this necessary we have emergency bonus. Muji will come to Honamumbraba. So this I don't agree with this. Yeah, in the past, they don't just say it is right. Say was here, yes, sir. Or some way careful because in Pennyphone crash, the next say, Bibi cry or more, I'm quite so Bibi or come to musica nature. Uniform near the uniform, I think I'm change that from the music. I think you get one, and then the subsequent ones, no one or something like that. Now, I'm not too sure about the full details in Abuja, but I know that almost some of their uniforms, you know. But I'm saying, I was saying, it's about negotiation. Yet, I like the minority posture. Say, you cry a bit to me, I'm a discussion, and yes, I'm a enterprise to me about it's the only penny back can so when a nurse or midwife goes on a normal duty and gets in an accident, they bear the cost, which shouldn't be the case because they are within the scope of their employment. And it's when you accident, the liability should be on the employer, government of Ghana. So what I say, I don't know what's what nurse, you know, on also a nurse in the year, on also a nurse, paracetamol there, then the nurse will not be the one paying for the cost of the treatment. But if I call MPP for him. And here Kokofu, I have really learned my lesson. I have learned a lot in opposition. If we win power again, I won't use a V8. I don't know. More of a Kokofu, I'm rooting for him say you become the general secretary. But I think Niama will say, okay, it doesn't make you sincere. So, my own looking like on Okafo at this time now, the overwhelming support that NDC is enjoying. But the overwhelming before anger, resentment towards MPP. If you want a real, if you want a warranted, if you also a warranted, because MPP for now, baby, so my yen, but I can't mind yen, or more wine hinty, before the time to have a great deal of no free as well. And the capacity around this time, I doesn't make it sincere. Never do our find out they accept Kukum. But I think that the point you can raise is that we will do better. But the packaging of the communication must be done well. Well, say, when politicians say they move communicators, and your communicators, we say, I'm talking about professional political marketing communicators, professional political, is Dr. Sass and Timoni. There's a way that you package your communication. And then the full soldiers now, you know, how they manage and package their communication in opposition. It's work for them, but they are short term. You didn't go for them, you go for every before and now the reality of the economy is staring in your face. No, even this dollar issue cry, there's so much fuss about it. I'm like, government, Wontumi. Now say Donald Trump started off fixing in here 2 years time. But for now, I mean, for the politics of it, it's all right for NDC to enjoy because see, the city dollar exchange rates had become a major albatross. Just since Ghana Koma, they have no choice but to do politics with it. That's allowed. That's allowed. They have to. But idea about dollar. This government buy. I think I budget 6 months. The dollar never from the could not realistically be to any major thing their government here. No. And foreign shocks. Any man for Russian currency, UK currency, the dollar is falling because of what is happening. The tariffs, trade war, personal. In the economics, that substantially, and yet but substantially, no, the major cause of dollar falling here because of those international issues. We are living in a global world, though. Ghana is not an island. It BBC or Russia, Ukraine war, COVID. It was true, but no more. There was extreme resentment against her by to be and that's why NDC must learn from it in the packaging of their communication. And that's why I'm also saying, say, Kokofuni MPP form must also learn to package their communication well. Now, because all you so VA to be hello, because mobile here from 1992. When you send Article 71, let's see a 2 cars. There's no political will to remove Article 71 from the Constitution. Because there are more political will, some of the creation of the regions, some are 16 regions. There's the political will, you do it. Free SHS, yes, there's political will, government did it. What is it? But when say no V8, you will do it. And see, but you see, I like Wafakokofu because see, I think that NPP, baby, they are in the same predicament. They need somebody with wisdom. And I understand politics. They need all that plus will be an need that or human relations or what wisdom to understand the nitty-gritties or the cruciality of saving party. Yes, sir. 2028, you must as well kiss it goodbye and go and sleep. Because it's not as simple as that. You will need more. You will need more than just because FPP doesn't have the goodwill. And the era me, I support him if he's going for general secretary. I support him. Say me, the person I know, except the American candle, the excellent human relations. Yera for him kasa. Onima seminar can ask a opinion. Onim Babato say we are boy but with a smile and walk on the sambon. Those are the people that MPP need right now. Say see I know money goodwill no. Say see I know a before resentment abano. Say see I know NBC appears to be delivering somewhat table flow. Delivering somewhat because they're early days yet. You need people like that. They will be seen as not necessarily antagonizing NDC. But because you see the crucial role of a general secretary in important human relations. Anyhow, they can at the same time go and fix the grassroots from polling station level, constituency level, regional level to national level. No, is the fact that NIPA points at Ashanti region, which is the World Bank of MPP, 33% voted NDC. The last election, 2020, NDC had 24% or 27% of Ashanti region. And the people must necessarily win over the vote, from Ashanti region number 1, number 2, Greater Accra region. And when they put that the biggest population, the whole Ghana, Greater Accra region, any part also. Because these two regions have pay to NDC, and other regions also followed. No, so when you general secretary, when you national executive, so more media, almost politics, I say, almost grassroots politics, I say, almost party one for nothing, almost starting floating vote as I say. Good relations will be a one cotwaba because they can win the people over. So it's not a matter of just fixing the broken system that when people move from no, but it's also a matter of how do we get our people to come back? How do we get our people to come back? That's why now me catch them say Kennedy Japan position is not the best. Kennedy Japan position is not the best. Because when you obia or tin semwasia, or at least to Canadian Japan say something, but to a large extent, no, and yet be so because baby, I want to know you are bleeding dada. Mopla, and one party need bleeding dada. It is a way you have a swung, where you have a threat, Nasa, oh, one croc, Nipano, Mount Wabama. So, oh, wait here, Pamutomon Samra Baka. Oh, voters then voters have nothing to lose. Say before you grew a support that I said you voted for this master. And they grown Mubeja Mundai. A grown Mubeja Mundai because Uncle Sihe. Say Lumbeja Mundai. Because party the essence of political party may try another government. Because more MPP for cry, no lose power, no more the video. Now MPP, you will lose because of attack being said journey after FSM. And MPP now, and MPP now, so you can't blame anybody. You can't blame voters. Never be one they ought to happen. Say there are two MPP now, two MPP no man lose election. And after the answer be one man communia. Answer be one man communia. If you don't blame anybody, yet try politics is about multi-party democracy. That's what we are practicing. As you see, if you who changes, and obviously MPP elders they plan a courtesy call to Mahama to seek pardon for Wontumi. Oh, MPP for a month I say Wontumi ni take account. Into why are you going to President Mahama to seek pardon for Wontumi? Mo say ni take account now. Because I just said then why are you going to President Mahama to seek pardon for Wontumi? Mo call that very interesting. Very, very interesting. But I think every one can show himself because you see, well, I think before we break, I have something ready. What's that? I'm not better supporting Wontumi. Because they were blaming Wontumi, say Wontumi can't lose elections. No, to be the goal, not the pointy. But I'm not the enemy. Advice people want to forget it. If they want to heal the party, they must necessarily forget and forgive and move on from there. And yes, mobile contact sound go say to me we need 2028 and then they won't forget it. So I like what they are doing, but the question is, see, this is where the discrepancy comes in and the differences in treatment also come in. Say online person here, what we are punching idea go jailina. Now we see a branch we are mobile phone and catch a board 700 Ghana cedis by a century to 18 years. And can you elders a mama papa president a child so that they don't prosecute the person now? Because Yoko prosecution is grounded in law. To me, now police for one. I don't know what I'm going to set up Yoko. Law no more establishing Yoko. No. Part of the police power near the Yoko. It is a part of the Attorney General power near the Office of Special Prosecutor. No, sir. It is an ordinary person in your someone. Come to obey your Biamana for president and company. Until when Yoko folk claim it, issues no more chasing to me about corruption. It's about money laundering. And if sir, in here, fighting corruption. And the young part of my I don't have any problem most of part of my wood to me, because I mean, after all, he's a human being. In any case, maybe I come from the school of thought, say, Samusu for Bisikana, indeed, you can establish it in court, about this issue of say, Obi Kofesikanye Kojeleni, it doesn't serve Ghana any purpose. I will check for common money, there are some, except when there's fraud. But I guess Sikabi on my community service, why you have my drama, prison. Yeah, I find you out. That's why I supported Ghana law. You plea bargaining deal law, yeah, Ghana, you know. But ordinary people be brainy. Ordinary people be brainy. Njono Korea banche, o Korea mobile phone, o Korea board, any other to 18 years, 19 years, 5 years, 6 years. not politician there, you could catch a president. But the MPP needs it. Because they can't just throw Wontumi away. Because and also politically, it's sending the wrong signal. If they throw Wontumi away under the bus, it's sending the wrong signal to people say MPP for no money. I mean, this kind of political case, they follow the same trajectory. They follow the same trajectory. Chicken the Japan party for they just crazy now go siaga. Koko the Saham party for you boom police headquarters to go here and go siaga. Koko no krene wadari enemy for NBC. Wontumi dey sa other people e cho mo tre some. Eti Wontumi na nkasa so for the sake of elections na mo person mo win and for the sake of building MPP party Wontumi na nkasa so to use this Yoko arrest wey so open to no for. Wontumi na nkasa must use this Yoko issue or advice no home. Say suban bi awuda na di kase bi ne ye bi attitude bi you must change. Say why you change here? And the more before now the better affect him. Wontumi na because you must be seen to be a unifier, at least Ashanti region. For the first time, MPP move base Ashanti region. Additional 5% of the total votes na Kotuma NDC. There's also additional record number. In order to win all those people back, Wontumi must change his attitude. Executive, in fact, I can't wait for the baby. Walker was so you or Mupamo said it. National executive advocates on you, baby. There must be a conscious effort, say, at least in making mistake or making mistake, which is likely in every government. But who MPPs, you must do your homework. You must do your homework. One year homework here. But at the end of the day, say the pressure is on MPP abide. It's NDC abide. Because see, say we must remind NDC, say they're not reminding, yeah, and MPP to NDC, we are not in power. More pressure and more power. So NDC must understand that this time around, more power. We are descending on you. You are the one who have the social contract with the people. One hour social contract with Ghana for. What the person will deliver? It is a way to deliver or can be also a one year no better. Until BBN or see them do what. We have to deal with NDC. Nearma work or 120-day plan. Nearma NDC maka or budget. Nearma ma promise Ghana for some obeying. You must deliver it. Now the man delivers so I was here to make her. Man delivers so I was here to make her. And you can't motion NDC man to one for see a made the attempt because of this whole nonsense. Political mercenarism. And to obia for kind of assembly and opponent attempt. Oh, yes, human could did your matter just to shut them up. What kind of behavior is that? In any civilized society, Biano, yes, my beer in the beer womb. Yes, the foundation of your 1992 constitution and your bro for a friend multi-party democracy. Just say Ghana and any party back there. And you'll be criticizing party back one. You should not insult the person because you don't have any sense of entitlement to say me party men can come party at him. That is how democracy and Gazano. Oh, on here. On democracy and go to democracy and criticism, critique, account. And the same pressure near the man before no. The same pressure criticize your more free SHS. Economy need to me accommodating. You live in here criticize your more about to agenda 111. Yes, it's kind of where where would you find the money? It's the same pressure and the Adibema MPP. It's the same pressure and the Adibema MPP. It's the same pressure. NBC, we must make sure NBC will deliver. No NBC full soldiers to come and insult anybody. And in any case, there is no amount of insult. And I'm ready at my best shut up. The OT Ghana or the OT Abrocho, the OT online, the OT on ground, in the sky, in the moon. No amount of insult will shut anybody up because constitutionally we should hold every government responsible. You hold the MPP for accountable free SHS. Omudi Ashanti region bauxite tika ebeye pokwase any idea interchanges 5 on province Ashanti region man we criticize them every day. Now no catch them ahemfo Munswaina Munchan you criticizing every day. We will bring the same pressure on NDC. We will bring the same pressure on NDC. And I make no amount of insult will change that. No amount of insult will change that. It's able to be better obi atem. See a dim atem no come no atu because you must allow President Mahama to work. Yeah, the same criticism no critique is part of politics. Democrats except on pay democrats and the Mohammed Tuare dey we are cool there and be any right to be and now a constitution and has been overthrown. It's any soldier no aban. Oh, declaration of the Bay Human will be a BDH. It will criticize NBC. We will do it boldly. We will do it harshly. We will do it bluntly. And no amount of insults. Any big changes are there. No. What I say, Mobia media attempt, or to the attempt to change the story anyway. It's no one here, the better I say, and Yamabe Edma. But still, Office of Special Prosecutor. Ogusu, I'm not already SM of one or they don't have any problem. Read all you want. Say evidence now open. And Office of Special Prosecutor, they have the power to search. They have the power to search. They can go for a court warrant. And the warrant will specify baby or munko search it. And if court among the right to search. Why? They should search. By all means, Special Prosecutor should search everywhere. Be also search. Be on search it. And they support Special Prosecutor search. Wherever I was search, search it. Now make sure say Emnano because yet now search baby I was searching because Special Prosecutor has to prove. I also prove our evidence to support Adi Aokan. Now our evidence to support Adi Aokan and I say one collecting a year. And then they will be able to say evidence now you are doing the right thing. It's a support office of a Special Prosecutor. Some ready SML officer as long as they had a warrant. Only warrant and never hand it. But if they had the warrant that authorizes them to say, oh, by all means, Office of Special Prosecutor, I'm going to search it, SML1, I'm going to search it, style BB, search it, pa. And he almost saying, conform to a cryptic message. And they need to be heavy because the point remains, say, Office of Special Prosecutor, no right. They have the power. The power now police for Kutano. OSP Sukutebi. Media the issue na minute go OSP nyanye no. Has this whole media attention. Yeah, this and I was challenging him to look. So ordinary people's cases didn't be on my way. I will to me conclude the case. No, all the same attention on political cases. That's the political case in the fans and we want actual work. Why yet? What this scam and Ghana government are here because everybody supports you. It shouldn't be that there's an attempt to do the job in a certain way. Say, I say, no, it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that. You know, but by all means, if a woman here say to me, in a way, I'll bet Ghana, Ghana, but on here, Ghana, any baby, anyone who will support it. We all support it. What I say, we all support it. Someone is now, my fan called NDC USA. Almost so much more. I'm the mama now campaign is here now. Now say no, and these are my diaspora people, you know. Don't we in Crawford? I'm saying the president Mohammed Tuamoja campaign Musano. Positions there by any now to our more be doing more kai president Mama. Say he promises obey ma omubi. Almost almost deserve it. It's the NBC USA no. Because I think that I mean to be fair, they have a point. I've always been at the of the school of thought say, yeah, and they are exposed. You have to travel and see. There's no unless to be so there. But a lot of people they took on the chairman, they've learned. Knowledge, it won't hurt. Say business as usual, we must bring them on board and give them position and try on with now I say fantastic work to me, you know. If you are California, and another man opportunity. No, I support this call by the NDC in the diaspora. Almost more opportunity. I support this call by the NDC in the diaspora. Say more chance maybe. No more if they can take Ghana to the next level. I support them. My position maybe. I mean, they are doctors, they are nurses, they are architects, they are business people, or master business or because you see the reason why you hear about for them to come and help government is they don't do things the usual way in Ghana. And unless we have a robust system where we can actually help our people. And yes, usually in fact, I know we need people who can think outside the box to craft for Ghana. It's President Mama. Support this call, but my own opportunity, no more social power, waiting your our government because you have only 4 years. And more so that's even the more critical reason why you need Abroche Fowe to come and help build the system. Yes, and but I support this idea. Say more opportunity. No more so and famboa. How we educate money accelerated. Okay, one of the fantastic things that President Kufuor when he became a president. Or your homecoming summit. Said Ghana for what brocho munim Ghana for one we are bringing them back. Why? To support the system. In fact, our homecoming President Kufuor and no man Ghana some solid people there. Start a business. So why not? Why not, President Mama? I agree with them absolutely. Say, ebeya more chance. Na Abroche for ni na so what said the papa President before so buy no ye. I mean, if it's been done before, and in Faswa, why not repeat it again and see how, especially in this day and age, advancement. Abroche for things that they are doing. People are helping Europe governments, British governments, American government, Asian government. They are very solid position. The in Rwanda, one of the key people, transforming Rwanda. I don't see why a young Ghana force you will be our approach that you bet me you soon build your mind. We should allow the person to just rot because young person you bet me you soon the panel. The president mama part and what bothers me is every senior people who pay the higher campaign they go to approach you. Never you don't want to appoint these people. I don't think I go for no more appointment for the sake of it. They so my human pay. And you ska omo be the baby on mommy doctor nurses. The money they are making will be 400,000 a year. They don't need Ghana ska, but so then the contribution knowledge be buano. Nemo when you careful some of fake doctors be am because I mean you must check the credentials of people. Answer na mama right. Say nipa no pretend they say oh yes something that they are not. We don't want another scandal. That embarrassment is just unfortunate. Completely unfortunate. But my from Kwakotia, Kumi. Kumi because we're winning contempt case. No, I'm a Supreme Court to me overturning contempt case. But I think the contempt case is minor the substantive case. Because substantive case na kata wo and the substantive case is saying anything here Kumi. Elections now Akotia is one of the flashpoints in Ghana. It has always been a flashpoint in Ghana from before Baba Jama. Even Eastern Regional Papa Eastern Regional Chairman. Now we're finishing. From the time to Evelyn, NDC women organizer, you call me Akotia, Evelyn. Baba Jama. It's always been a flashpoint. And conviction now over 10 years contempt case now. You go and forward when na court no Supreme Court adani. The substantive matter elections there was a problem with it. There were irregularities in the election. I think the case still remains. And I'm also so one that be also a case no good. But I mean interesting times ahead of Ghana. Interesting times. Now we will follow all that because we need critique of the system to make the system perfect. What you say? Because the time you say Supreme Court has overturned the Kufuor High Court conviction. Kufuor High Court and a conviction of NSDL committee, the member of parliament for Akotia for contempt. So the Apex Court also nullified the execution of a bench warrant. Because they're not bench warrant tonight. So confusion to member parliament. But you see, MPs I knew. MPs were immunity. So I'm going to parliament and not parliament. Not to be channel. That's why they've also not been able to arrest him. Justice Emmanuel Senyo Amadahe Onuna or issue bench warrant contempt conviction because it was based on the contempt conviction. No say young question and brand because your friend of court we did court we brought court in MB so that's what contempt no really is about. Say court I can't be the awareness so see ye be and also many be na why yes a contempt. Supreme Court there 4-1 majority. 4-1 majority. You see, and this is that when people try to politicize the judiciary, because the last round I will say the decision was made on Wednesday morning by a 4-1 majority ruling. When I'm sorry, I might say Supreme Court unanimous FC. This is an MPP case, but the same Supreme Court one, nothing has changed. CJ no still because CJ now see on freehold, she's still there. And I look at the justices on multi case also. Murder that is long cases because acting CJ no, he hasn't changed anything. And I said acting CJ and go for some label to say, oh yeah, Justice Bafu Boni, or yeah, NDC. And so look at this case now. As them your lawful no crime, it is clear in the law. There's nothing the Supreme Court can do. All the law on the back to baby was said Edda. And from 2012 election petition, confirm the tomu level a first a tuguba and or NDC ni and a Justice Tokonusaba or NPP ni. You see, we should not do that because the history of Ghana. Yes, them said in say who say ya na ma ye kokum judges. Yes, the who say ya ye who ya ni kokum judges. Answer. This so-called acting CJ, I must say, I'm a Jackson Bafu Boni there, or your first NDC ni Omama 4-1. So man empano court 4-1 in favor of MP. Oh, Mama yem protect your judiciary no as sacrosanct. Ye na judiciary di free and sa ye woo. Ye na judiciary no a free and sa ye woo.
Abuja baby a wo hwe me bia wo haw ne amane kodan na bia da eda wo so bia no bomode se oni me bedi nkomo ye de samna nwanwaso bi aba e frɛ ne se eye sika kokko na gold samna wo haw bia da eda wo so bia wo hia sa samna we se bi afi wo ye bema wo hwe me wo bema sam wo pom bema ye ketwa brabeji bula matali eduro bi na wo bema enye kese watimi abo adwuma so ache e wo empem ye de akwankyere bi aba abuja no ye hwehwe wo hyebrim a ye frɛ ne se mpelifo akwankyere ana se wo betima frɛ back to sender. Onipa bi ha, onipa bi tata. Wato bet e won ho se wo se ne ti bi obeku. Bo modern so be fa numbers ne go screen ase. Na woni mi akasa me hwehwe o hyebere mu hwie a. Me bo modern se me kyerɛ wo ne wo beye.